Hi, I am Gaurav and today we are going to continue our discussion on rational numbers. We are going to use this mathematics book by NCERT and you can download this book from epathshala.nic.in. So as you know from previous video, we have discussed these natural numbers, we have discussed integers, we have discussed whole numbers and we are still discussing these rational numbers. The our focus is rational numbers, but my aim is that we discuss all natural numbers, integers, as well as little bit about this irrational number. So our discussion itself is complete. Okay. So earlier we have discussed this all these rational numbers and integers. Now we are going to see a little bit about irrational numbers. Okay, so let's read first this definition, or instead of definition, I should say explanation of irrational numbers. So all those numbers that can be written as non-repeating and non-terminating decimals that are non-rationals, and that are so they are called irrational numbers. So the example would be square root of 2, the value of 5, and the here the main point is non-repeating and non-terminating. If you see any normal number, uh, like I don't think I have any example right now. Here I have to. Okay. Here. So if you see any rational number, let's say 1.23. Okay, so this is a rational number, and you might see that the value of any rational number uh, does not always follow this non-repeating, non-terminating rule. Like you might see the repetition of value 23. You might see there is a pattern in a rational number, but here in irrational numbers there is no pattern. They are non-repeating and non-terminating decimals. And the other interesting thing is the rational and the irrational are two totally separate number types, and there is no overlap. So this is interesting. There is no overlap. If you go in a previous slide, you see this. If you take this number 99, it is a natural number, it is whole number, it is integer, it is rational. So you can say that there is an overlap of natural rational number and whole number. There is an overlap of integers. Okay, but there is that's good. There is no overlap in irrational numbers. There is no overlap. Okay, so and we are not focusing a lot about irrational. Just sake of completion, we are talking about irrational numbers because if you are talking any number set like natural or integer or rational, we should know that there is not just this thing or this number set. There is a whole lot other things about numbers. That's why we are taking these irrational numbers. We are not going into deeper into these irrational numbers. So here is the example of pi, and you can value of pi. You can see that it is non-repeating and non-terminating decimal. It is continued. Okay, and you can check this link for the value of pi up to 10,000 digits. Same thing is true for square root of 2. So before moving forward, we have seen natural numbers. Natural numbers are all positive numbers, excluding 0. If you include the 0 in that number set, you will find the whole numbers. And if you include the negative also, there will be integers, and if you include fractions, there will be a rational number. We are talking about this rational numbers. Okay, and there is other realm of this number thing. it is irrational numbers. Okay. There is one thing also. The irrational number is a real number that cannot be expressed as a ratio of integers, like as a fraction, like as a this rational number. Therefore, irrational number when written as a decimal number do not terminate nor are repeating. And we are not going to see this thing also, real number and imaginary number. Believe me, there are imaginary numbers. So the focus of the discussion today is properties like closure, commutativity and associativity. We are going to see this property today, and we are going to see why we need to see this property. And by property I mean there are special characteristics that helps us that characteristics makes this calculation easier. Okay, so let's move to closure property. So there is one thing you should remember: how do you check a property? How do you see that if this property or if their characteristics exist for a number? So what we do, we perform any mathematical operation, okay, and we see that the condition for given property is true or not. So if we perform addition, subtraction, multiplication or division, and here is condition, the answer is in same set. Okay, so first operations like plus, minus, multiplication, division. Okay, then next is I'm sorry, there was a call, cell phone was ringing if you have heard that. So we were discussing that we were discussing closure property, right? Okay. So what we are going to do, what I was saying is that first we have to perform this mathematical operation, then we have to verify that our answer matches the definition. And here the definition or condition, whatever like you say, is that the answer should be in same set, right? So for mathematical operation and answer, same thing, mathematical operation and answer for all three properties. Okay, so let's move forward. And that was a very clear definition, right? We won't need actually. This is just for fun, but we won't need actually. Right? Or do we need to revisit? Okay, so yes. Okay, so if you perform any mathematical operation, this 4, and the two numbers get mathematical operation on any two numbers, and you get the answer in same set, then we can say that those two numbers are closed under that operation. And by same set, if the both numbers are integer, then we need integer as an answer. Okay, so the example would be if I perform addition of the number, then answer of this should be integer, and here it is integer. So you can say that the these integers are closed under addition. Okay, and you can check this for multiplication, subtraction, and division. So as I said, how do we check the property? Any property, closure or any, we do mathematical operation on two numbers and check the answer. That's very simple, right? So here is the table. This is taken from page 4 of chapter 1, that book I have told you earlier. Natural numbers are closed under addition. How do we know that? As I have these two are natural numbers, and if we perform addition, the answer is natural number, right? So the same thing is true for whole numbers, integers, and rational numbers also. And this is also true for rational numbers and integers, subtraction, case of subtraction. But it is not true for whole number and natural numbers. Why? Because if you subtract number 3, if you perform subtraction 3 minus 5, you will get negative 2. Now these two, if these two are a whole number or natural number, then this is not a whole number or natural number. So there is a no here. Again, for multiplication, this closure holds, while for division, there is a no everywhere. Because if you divide any number, let's say 5, negative 5, and divide by 0, you get undefined. So this alone is enough for saying that none of this set is closed under division. So we have given a little more time for a simpler property, because I wanted to tell you that how this property thing works, how we check for the property. Okay, so let's move to the next property, that is commutativity. Commutativity. Okay, there was another break. Okay, commutativity is commutativity deals with the position of two numbers. The word itself says that commute. The commute means from going one place to another. So if we B goes from second place to first place and A goes from first place to second place, the answer should be same. So A plus B should be equal to B plus A. So if we change the position of two numbers keeping the mathematical operator same, this plus does not go anywhere. Keeping the mathematical operator same and still get the same answer, we say commutative property is true for that given set. Okay. So as I said, the word commutative comes from the commute or move around. So the commutative property is the one that refers to moving stuff around, and we are moving these numbers. Okay, and operator says at the same place. So if we add 2 plus 3, it is positive 5, and 3 plus 2 is equal to also positive 5. Same thing is true for multiplication. If you multiply 2 with 3 or 3 with 2, you are getting the same answer. So here the property is commutativity, and if you perform any mathematical operation, okay, plus minus multiplication or division, okay, and on two numbers, and then change the position and again perform the mathematical operation, the answer should be same. So here is the table for natural numbers. If you perform addition on two numbers and change the position, you are getting the same answer. You can see that from here. Same thing here. If you perform a subtraction, look, 5 minus 3 is equal to positive 2, while 3 minus 5 is negative 2. So this is not commutative. While 2 multiplied by 3 is equal to 6, while 3 multiplied by 2 is also equal to 6. So this is commutative. And 3 by 2 is equal to 6, while 2 by 6 is not equal to 3. So this is not commutative. So division and subtraction is not commutative. For natural numbers, you can verify that for whole numbers, addition and multiplication are commutative, while subtraction and division is not. Okay. So same thing for integers and rational numbers. For integers, I have taken example of one positive, one negative number, and two negative numbers. Okay, and you can verify that this is not commutative. This is again not commutative. While addition and multiplication is commutative. So you can see that this subtraction and division is subtraction and division is not commutative, while addition and multiplication is commutative for all four number sets. So I hope you got this. You can send me an email on this email ID if you have any doubts, any confusion, or if you want to share anything. You can comment also. You can let me know by email also. Okay. So and I have not taken the example of negative rational numbers, right? You can try this negative rational numbers, and you may check that this thing is true or not. Okay. Now there is another property called associativity. Now this is a bit easier, right? Actually, the previous both were easier. This is also an easy one. So no matter in which order you perform mathematical operation, the answer should be same. So let's check this out. If we add two numbers and then add the another number, or if we add later two numbers and the add first number, the answer should be same. A plus B, and the answer of A plus B plus C is equal to A plus answer of B plus C. All this should be same. Then it is this operation or these numbers are associative under addition, right? Here we talk about order of operation. First we perform the operation in one order and then we change the order and check the answer. Okay, the theory says stays the same. Perform mathematical operation and check the answer. So perform mathematical operation in one order and write down answer. Perform mathematical operation in another order, write down answer and compare. Then they should be same. So here is the examples of all four operation for all the number sets. Like 1 plus 5 is equal to 6 plus 9 is equal to 15, while 5 plus 9, 14 plus 1 is equal to 15, and 5 into 1 is equal to 5 into 9 is equal to 35, and 5 into 9 into 1 is equal to also 35. So again the same story, you can check that all this is associative under for all these number set. Addition is associative, multiplication is associative, while this subtraction and division is not. Okay, you can see this from the answer. You can check by yourself from any number. Okay, and we are going to use this property, right? I don't think there will be any mathematical sum which is going to check. It may ask you to check the property, but we are going to use this property for other mathematical examples, other mathematical sums. We are going to see in next video. Okay, so what do you think about associative? You can try. Can you try this for another numbers, and you should see that our answer will definitely it will be matched. Now there is a question, right? What if we don't have same mathematical operator? So you can see that here is a addition, here is addition, here is addition, here is addition. What if there is a addition and multiplication here? Then will this thing work? Will this property will hold or not? Okay, the first thing is that. And second thing, is it possible to just put a bracket here and do the math? Is it right or not? Okay, so if we know which operator is higher, we can start from that operator. If I know that this division is a higher priority, I can start with 7 by 2. Okay, that's a messy thing. Okay, so I can start from 7 by 2. Then if I know that the second number is multiplication, I can do that. Okay, then I can add these two things, the answer of multiplication and 2, and then I can subtract all the answer of this operation, and I think I have just solved this example. Okay, so but you should check it out that weightage of all the operators, and the exact word you are looking is operator precedence. If you know the operator precedence of all these operators, then you are good to go. You can solve this type of example easily. Okay friends, thank you, thanks a lot for watching. Actually there was little bit pause in the videos, but I hope you have liked it. I hope you are able to understand. My English is not my first language, so forgive me if you have any confusion or if you have any doubt. I am trying to improve my language, and I hope our next video will be better than this. Thank you. You please like and share this video. This helps a lot. Thank you. Thanks a lot.